So we're in biology section 7.5 and we're going to be talking about muscles designed for motion. Muscles indeed are designed for us to move, and they also give our body shape and form. They're very unique because they react by nerve cells to contract, and they contract and stimulate. And opposite muscles, usually there's different opposite muscles. One contracts one way and one contracts the other way. So they also transport things like blood in the arteries, transporting oxygen and red blood cells. And of course in the digestive tract too. Muscles work in your digestive tract to pull your food through your digestive tract. And also the lymph system is propelled by muscles too. So there are different kinds of muscles. Let's talk about the different kinds of muscles here. And this is in your book. And we're going to be talking about there's 3 different ways muscles are classified here, and are 3 different types of muscle classifications. One is the cardiac muscle. So what is cardiac muscle? Well, cardiac means heart. And so cardiac muscle is only in the heart. And the muscle in the heart is striated, the same as skeletal muscles. It's striated, means it's striped. It has a striped look. But it's different in that it is very hardy because it has to be, it's only in the heart, and it's used to beat, for the heart to beat over and over and over. It's self-stimulating. It's the most efficient pump in the world. So if you had a question on what's the most efficient pump in the world, of course it would be your heart, and supplying blood to all the parts of your body. So you can see it's designed to contract over and over and over, contracting. So, and going on to the smooth muscle. Smooth muscle, of course, is in a lot of different organs. I shouldn't say the rest of your organs, but many of your organs has the smooth muscle. See the difference between the smooth muscle and the striated cardiac muscle? Quite a difference. They look totally different types of cells, don't they? But they're still muscle cells. So what about these smooth muscles? Well, the smooth muscles, they're shorter, as you can see. They're looking shorter and longer, actually, than the muscles of the cardiac and the skeletal system. They contract slowly. So they're contracting slowly, and they're powerful because they have prolonged contractions. Kind of like the heart, but longer. They take longer. And they're used to operate sphincters in your body, valves. Sphincters are valves in your body. And they adjust to tension in your blood vessels and squeezing your blood vessels through the blood through your organs, and to adjust the focus of your eyes. In your eyes, how the lens in your eyes focuses is a smooth muscle. So holding your eyelids open is another smooth muscle, and even in the mother's womb is smooth muscle. So this is a typical example of the small intestine there, and how the small intestine would have to contract to get the food and nutrients through your body. So just to know, this is another type of muscle. And the last is skeleton muscle, and most of the muscles in our body are skeletal muscles. There's like over 600 different muscles that are skeletal muscles. And they're composed of these muscle fibers, millions of them. They're in parallel units. You see how they're in parallel units as these muscles are stretched out. And they too are striated. This appearance looks striped. See how the appearance looks striped. So we have the striated muscles are called skeletal muscles, and they're attached to the bones by tendons. Always remember that tendons attach muscle to bone. Ligaments attach bone to bone. So just remember, that's the difference. Tendons is also always muscle to bones. And of course, the muscles of the skeletal muscles always contract. They always pull, and they never push. So think, muscles are always gonna pull and never push. These skeletal muscles always act quickly, which are different from the smooth. Smooth are long, and they're long periods of time. You know, basically, they're long and powerful and prolonged contractions. But these are very quick contractions with the skeletal muscle. And you can see how the nucleus is, and you'll find that some of them even have more than one nucleus. See where the nucleuses are different in the skeletal muscle. Okay? So now let's go on to different types, important muscles in your body. Some of them are in this picture and some of them are not, because as I was looking through them, like I was trying to find some and they weren't even in the picture, so which you'd think they would be, but here's some of the muscles. See all these different muscles of the body. So you're gonna have to know some of these. You'll have to know, since there's 600, you're not gonna be able to know all of them, you know, but some of the muscles you can kind of know just by what bone they're by, you know, so. But let's talk about the head first. Muscles of the head. So if we look at the muscles of the head, you're going to see the temporalis muscle, and by your next to your temporal parts of your head there, you know, and then down to the masseter. These are both muscles that open and close your jaw, and they work opposite from each other, the temporalis and the masseter. Let's look on the other guy's head here so we can see where this is in the front. There we go. We got the temporalis and the masseter here. So you can see where they are. See by your jaw. Masseter is by your jawbone and the temporalis. So, and then the other one listed here is the sternocleidomastoid. This is kind of funny because it goes by the bones. So you have a sternocleidomastoid. So it's by your sternum, and it's by your clavicle, cleido, and it's by your mastoid. So it works, so it's kind of right down here from your sternum up, hooks onto your sternum up, as you see, to your, the mastoid area there. So here we have this. And this is a very important muscle, because if you didn't have this muscle, you wouldn't be able to bend your neck forward or to bow your head, or even to turn your head. So it's connected to the temporal bones of the skull, and to the sternum, and into the clavicles too. So sternocleidomastoid. Let's look on the back of it. You can see the sternal. Yeah. So I guess it's not listed here. You can't see it so much on the back side. So, okay. Now that's enough for the face. Let's go on to the shoulders and the ribs. So one of the most important muscles of this area is going to be the trapezius. So you see where the trapezius, you can see it on your shoulders right here. It's trapezius. Trapezius, I think it's shaped like a triangle. Let's go down here. We can see where it is here better on your back. So here we go, right down here, kind of like this triangle look, trapezius. So this muscle is for pulling your shoulders back and shrugging and tilting your head sideways. Trapezius muscle is pretty important. And then you'll have the serratus anterior, and the serratus anterior, I should say, attaches to the side of the scapula and stretches forward the sides of the rib cage. So I was looking on here, and they do not have this one listed here. So, but anyway, you'll know that if you serratus means has to do with attaching to your scapula. And then you have the pectoralis minor and the pectoralis major. The pectoralis minor are muscles of the chest that pull the shoulders forward, and the pectoralis major is the largest of the chest muscles, and it's inside. Let's look here at it. It's your pecs. When you think of pecs, here's pectoralis major is here. The pectoralis minor is located further upward. So here we have the pectoralis, the pecs. So you think of pecs, what do you think? You think of those pecs in your chest, right? So the pectoralis major there. And it connects to the sternum, to the outside of the chest there, as you can see, and also connects to the humerus, which means the humerus is your arm, so that you can actually move your arms forward. That's the pecs. Now we have the deltoid. The deltoid's right here, like your shoulder, on top of your shoulders here, the deltoid. Let's look over here so you can see it on here. Here's the deltoid, right here on the back side. So the deltoid is important because it curves, it has the curves of the shoulders, and it lifts the upper shoulders away from the body. So when you lift your shoulders, the deltoid is up here. Just remember, that's your top of your shoulders. And then we have the latissimus dorsi. And let's look in the back because it's in your back. There we have latissimus dorsi on these two sides. You see where the latissimus dorsi are? Very important muscles. What do you think that they'd be doing? Yep, they connect to your arms and to your lumbar spine area, so you can draw your arms to the rear, pull them back to the rear area, and so you can pull, like pulling on a rope or paddling a canoe. You use your latissimus dorsi. Dorsi, anything dorsal means backside. If your dorsal area is your backside. And so let's look at your lower arms, the arms. So we'll look at your arms here, and so we'll start with the deltoid, but then we have the triceps brachii, and then we have the brachialis, you'll see down here. And here's a better picture of your arm here. So you have the biceps, your biceps, you know, when you hold your muscle up, that's your bicep. Brachialis down here, and then your triceps. Biceps and triceps kind of act together opposite right there on your arm. So let's see, the biceps are the front of each arm and your forearms, and it bends your forearms. The triceps are the back of your arms, behind your arms. Those kind of a weaker muscle there that extends your arms straight. Okay, so those are your arms. Now let's see, let's look in your hands, you know. Well, as we finish looking here, we're going to go back and look. We can see here's the external obliques, and the oblique side here is pretty important. External oblique here, and your stomach part muscles, look there. So, and here's some extensors of your hands. Oh, the rectus abdominalis here, these are your abdominal muscles here. Serratus, now we're going on to your legs, but let's go here, down here, so you can see of course, your gluteus maximus, but here's your external obliques. Your obliques are your side. So let's get going here. Hands. So hands are very important, but let's skip the hands. I'm going to go back to the hands. I want to go on and finish up with the trunk here. Your trunk here. So as I said before, we have the rectalis, let's see if it's here, abdominis, that's these. These are your abdominal muscles, and I kind of went over those already, but they sit there at the bottom of your sternum in the front of your pelvic, and so you can sit up. You can do sit-ups with these rectus abdominis. Just think abdominal rectus to sit up. And then, of course, the external oblique here, these sides here, they connect the ribs to the pelvis, and so you can have proper posture. You can eliminate wastes. Heavy breathing and exercise are all done with these external oblique. Well, here's the serratus anterior muscle that I couldn't find. It's located right here. So you can see this better. See if I can focus better here. There we go. Okay. So that exterior oblique. The extraspinal is moving the trunk. See if we can have the moving of the trunk. See if I have it down here. Oh, here we go with the external. That one's not listed here. External spinae actually helps you if the spinal, extend your spine up vertical on the spinal column. And this is very important to straighten your back up. So let's go on to the legs. I'm gonna go on to the legs here. Okay, in the legs, the main muscle in your legs, going down your legs, would be your gluteus maximus. The gluteus maximus is the largest muscle in your body, and the gluteus maximus is the strongest muscle, and it pulls your legs downward and away, and it forms what's called your buttocks, right? So gluteus maximum is in your buttocks. So you can jump or run or stand up. And so then on this side, we have the muscles here, which are called quadriceps. See where your quadriceps are? Quadriceps femoris. And what these are 4 different muscles that come down. You can see 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, and there's another one. So they're quad means 4. And so these are the front of the thighs, and they connect to the tibia by the patella tendon. And you can straighten your leg out at your knee, or kick a ball with these quads. Call them their quads. 1, 2, 3, 4 quads. So those are the quads in the front, right? And then in the back, we have the back of each thigh, we have hamstrings. So let's look at the hamstrings, see if I can see these here. In the back here, hamstrings right here. They're big muscles in the back of your legs called hamstrings. And these hamstrings bend the knee at the knee, and they're kind of cord-like tendons there, those hamstrings. And so then the sartorius is a diagonal one that comes down. See if I can see that one on this picture right there up here. You can see in the front how this sartorius comes down like a diagonal, like that. See that muscle coming down right over, your quadriceps right over here. This kind of muscle that comes down as a diagonal down. The hamstrings in the back, the sartorius is in the front. So let's go on. We're going to go on to the feet. And then we're going to skip back up to the hands, because we had a big article on the hands. So here we have the feet. We have the muscle that goes down to your feet. So probably the most important muscle is this back calf muscle. This is called the gastrocnemius. Gastrocnemius comes down from the back of your calf down there, the calf muscle. Here's your patella here. This is your patella bone. And it comes down, and the soleus comes down into to the Achilles tendon down here in the back of your foot. And so there you have your foot muscles. So let's see. Just remember the gastrocnemius is your calf. And then we have the tibialis anterior muscle is opposite the gastrocnemius. You always have if you have one muscle, you got to have a muscle that's opposite. So here's the tibialis anterior which comes on the outside of the gastrocnemius. So the gastrocnemius is opposite from the tibialis anterior that controls your foot. So let's go on here. See, I wanted to go back to the hands. Movements of the arm. We're going to talk about the movements of the arm, but we're going to do that next section. Let's see, something happened here. I don't know what it's doing, but let's go back to the Okay. I think we're going to stop there, and we're going to go over the movements of the arms, and because I'm getting kind of over here, so my battery's getting low.